Hello, hello, everyone. Well, let me start with this, and I hope YouTube is kind to this.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on, come on. Come on and shout. Yeah. Buffalo's happening now. We're on the move now. The Bills are happening now. They're making it happen now. You got the spirit, a lot of spirit, yeah. You got the spirit. Just watch it happen now. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. The Bills make me wanna
shout. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, where's the logo? My brother Amal created a nice logo for this channel, and for branding purposes, I always like to show it. Give me a second. Wayman Brown, what's going on? I see you there in the chat. This is going to be a short stream. It's a college football Saturday, and actually, my Michigan Wolverines are set to play Western Michigan in almost an hour and a half. So this is going to be a short stream, but there was something I wanted to squeeze in here. Yeah, here it is. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, when you're in business, branding is very, very important. So welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this stream, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. I just played a piece of the Buffalo Bills / Bills Mafia song. I don't know if in the NFL they're called fight songs like they are in major college football, but that's what that is. And if the YouTube bots / algorithm do their copyright thing to this, I'm gonna have to cut that off, which is why I intentionally started talking after I played the song. So, well, keep your fingers crossed, because that song is synonymous with the Buffalo Bills. I'm from Buffalo. This channel is, for the most part, and it has been for the most part, a Michigan football, Ohio State, Big Ten hub. The pro sports, I want to work in some more of the pro sports, but there needs to be a niche and an audience for that. And I did a few of these last season, towards the end of the season, with Uncle Ice and the G-Dog. So this season, look for more Buffalo Bills live streams. But I see Wolf is here. Kareen from she changed her name. Mike Tomlin is the hottest coach in the NFL. Kareen, so you're no longer Kareen of House Atreides. Oh, you're a Steelers fan, not a Giants or Jets fan. That's interesting, Kareen, since you're in the New York City metro area. Don't anybody dox Kareen for that. I'm going to jump right in. Before I do, I saw Wayman Brown was there. Wayman is a fellow Buffalo guy. Shout out to McKinley High School. And for the purposes of marketing, I told everyone, I just shared this over on my main channel, that my main reason for coming to YouTube was my writing activities. And I'm working on a book project that's kind of tracking my my journey on my high school basketball team and what that taught me about how to become successful and how to deal with failure and how to deal with success and how to persevere through life's many challenges in life's many arenas. Give me a second. And I showed this in my Wednesday live stream with Johnny Olden. So I'm going to show this here. I'm going to leave this in the community chat. I keep saying community chat, the community tab. I'm going to leave this in the community tab probably tomorrow. I'm getting the word out here on YouTube first before I share it to Facebook, because my Facebook friends, those are all people that I know. So some people are going to be shocked to see that I wrote this story, but I'm going to start to get the word out on YouTube first. This is, Wayman, if you're still there, this is called the Engineers, a Western New York basketball story. That's it right there. There's a content creator named Kevin Samuels. I think Wayman and Kareen are familiar with him. One of his mottos was "Show your work." So I've been working on this thing for a number of years. So I thought the time had come to show the work. So this is it. This is the page. It gives a high-level description of the book, what it's about. Actually, that's one of our old jerseys from Hutch Tech High School back in the day. That's me at a photo shoot in the fall, Delaware Park. That was a lot of big time ball players came out of Buffalo. Well, not as many as New York, but Christian Laettner played a little bit there. Cliff Robinson played there. Trevor Ruffin, those kinds of things. This is just a description of what I've been working on and what I envision the books to be. It's a two-parter. That's my high school basketball coach, the late Dr. Ken Jones. And these are pieces that I've written over the last couple of years associated with the project. And I didn't realize how much work I put into this thing until I listed out all these pieces. These are interviews with Jason Rowe, Tim Wynn, Damian Foster, Carlos Bradbury, and Coach Pat Monty. These were some of the more successful players and a coach from Western New York during my time. So that's there. This is going to go up on the community tab at some point. And I'm just trying to get the word out about that. Kareem, our resident super fan is here. He's going to love this. There's a lot of Buffalo Bills haters in the media. They're foolishly slurping the Browns. As Stephen A. Smith says, they're just the Browns. They're just the Browns. Okay, so Kareem, this is a book. Can we buy it? Eventually, Kareem, writing a book, especially the first time you do it, is a long process. So for myself, I've recently finished my third or fourth revision. And when you finish something like this, the ideas keep coming. So there are a few more tweaks I want to make, but right now I need to figure out, I need to hire a technical writer, a technical editor to go through and clean up everything, because as the writer yourself, you're always missing things. Even when you think you've got everything, you're missing things. And maybe some parts of your grammar need to be cleaned up more effectively. So I need to hire a technical writer / editor, and then I need to figure out how to get it out. So, but this is just to give people a look at what it is, because I've been talking about it. And at some point you have to show what you've done. You have to show what you've been doing. So that's there. She also says, are you self-published, Dr. Dunbar? So again, I'm in the planning stages. This is the next phase, getting it out, starting to promote and figuring out how to get it into print and those kinds of things. But this is just to let people know that it's there. Okay. So this live stream, I intend for this to be short because the Michigan Wolverines are kicking off in an hour and 15 minutes. And I know it's strange that I would do an NFL related stream on college football on a college football Saturday, but for time constraints, I thought I needed to squeeze this in right now. Anyway, let's jump in. Okay, so Kareen says she's a Steelers fan. So let's take a quick look at the Buffalo Bills schedule. And then I'm going to read a message from a Buffalo Bills skeptic. And you might be wondering, Dr. Dunbar, why would you read a a message, or why would you read something from a Buffalo Bills skeptic? I don't know how it is in other cities, but in Buffalo, we have a passionate fan base, the Bills Mafia, and actually, a running joke is that one of Buffalo's main exports is talent. So during my childhood, I saw a lot of people leave the city for Atlanta and Arizona and Florida for major market cities. So the joke is that Buffalo exports talent. So we have a fan base actually that's all over the country. Everywhere you go, you'll find Buffalo Bills Mafia people and you'll find Buffalo Bills backers. But we also, in the city of Buffalo, and I don't know how it is in other fan bases, but you have a lot of jaded critics and skeptics and people who don't believe in the franchise no matter how well it does. So the Bills have made the playoffs, I believe, for the last 2 years. Yeah, I think it was the last 2 years, because we lost against Houston 2 years ago, and then we lost in the AFC Championship game earlier this year out in Kansas City. But the point is, the net of it is, as Kevin Samuel says, those of you who are not familiar with it, there's a very controversial content creator over in what we call the Black Manosphere named Kevin Samuels, and he says the net of it. But the net of it is that the Buffalo Bills seem to be trending upwards as a franchise, and Buffalo Bills fans, the diehard fans, are really happy about it. And then you have some skeptics sitting back and saying, you know what? I wouldn't get too happy if I were you guys, because last year was an anomaly. And I'm going to read a skeptic's lengthy message to me on Twitter. This person will remain anonymous. This will probably infuriate some Bills Mafia constituents. I know I read this from my best friend when I was out west last week, and he didn't like it. But my channel is about balance. I'm a Michigan football alum. Well, I'm not a Michigan football alum. I'm a Michigan alum. I'm a Michigan fan. But here we also talk about, we not only talk about how we want the program to be better, but we also talk about what's wrong with the program. So that's my approach, and I'm going to apply the same approach to my hometown Buffalo Bills. So, but first, let's take a look at the schedule, since Corrine said she's a Steelers fan, and let's just take a overarching look at a high-level look at the schedule. And again, look for more live streams with guests throughout the season regarding the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to pull the schedule up really quickly, and we're just going to take a quick walk through it. And I'm going to see what Abdul Gaines, my channel's resident superfan, said, because everything Abdul Gaines says is solid gold, in my opinion. I admire Abdul Gaines' passion. So Abdul Gaines says, Kareem says, first of all, we got some, first, Abdul Gaines says, there's a lot of Bills haters in the media. They're foolish. Okay, I already read this one. Wayman says, we have the greatest NFL fan base overall. Nice. Yeah, Bills fans, we had a lot of down years since the Super Bowl years, and I can say that the Bills fans have been loyal throughout. I mean loyal. We've gone through coaches, we've gone through quarterbacks, we've gone through general managers, but the Buffalo Bills fan base, for the most part, has remained fiercely loyal to our red, white, and blue. Kareem says, y'all not beating the Steelers next week. Wayman says, we played the Jags too for that wild card game with Tyrod, playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. Tyrod Taylor, Abdul Gaines' favorite quarterback. The Bills are going to smash the Steelers. Big Ben is on his legs. That might mean he's on his last leg. The Bills have a better head coach in QB. Wolf says, being cynical about your hometown team is standard in the industrial Midwest and Northeast. And Kareem says, fighting words, Big Ben is going out like a champ, and Mike is the best coach in the world at Abdul Gaines. Wow. I am a little surprised Ben is still playing, but I guess, well, Tom Brady's still playing as well. So the Bills schedule. So thus far, I mean, you can't put a lot of weight in preseason. Preseason is about putting together the best roster you could put together, bringing back the vets that are still productive, and also keeping the rookies and the free agents who you think can help you out the most. So, they start off with, I think, over 100 players in the NFL, and they eventually have to whittle it down to 53. And that's interesting because I went to go see the Bills play the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte a couple of years ago, and when I looked down at the field, I had gone to several Michigan football games in at the Big House, and you can see how big those a college football roster is. It's much different because they're not they haven't been paying them. I think some of the players are going to start getting paid now, but I'm saying that it was interesting to see at a Michigan home game how big the roster is. You're talking about 100 players or more, and then when you look at an NFL roster, it's 53 players. So you could see numerically, you could see the difference as you're looking at a game live in the stadium. But preseason, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to cut the roster down. So the Bills, they won 16-15 over the Lions in week 1. In week 2, they won over the Chicago Bears 41-15. And then week 3, they won 19-zip over the Packers at home. I did watch that game. I was out west with my best friend. Aaron Rodgers didn't play that day. But I will say Josh Allen did look good. And Josh Allen recently signed that $230 million contract. So the Bills are riding with Josh Allen for the next couple of years. They've declared this is our guy. So, but I thought that he looked good. So he got the money. But as we know with sports, staying healthy is going to be a major key. So God forbid the Bills have paid out all this money to him and he cracks a knee or tears a ligament. Hopefully if he stays healthy, he can deliver. He can stand and deliver and lead the team the way we hope he will, and the way that the front office is hoping, and the head coach, Sean McDermott, that they're hoping that he will. Grab my football here. So the schedule, as Kareem has shared with us. Also, guys, please hit the like. This is a small crowd. I'm hoping to catch the algorithm a little bit here. So week 1, we are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kareem's team. Didn't know this was Kareem's team till today. Week 2, we're going down to the Miami Dolphins over on my main channel, or should I say my original channel. Kayshawn, I think it was Kayshawn, said, "Oh, we have you guys in week 2." I didn't know who his team was, so it turns out that his team is the Miami Dolphins. Week 3, I was about to say my Washington football team is traveling up to Orchard Park to play the Bills, but I don't really feel any ownership over the Washington football team. I'm a Bills fan, especially since they changed their name. I know that's a hot, polarizing topic. I'm a traditionalist, so I kind of thought that they should have stayed the Washington Redskins, but I hope I don't piss anybody off by saying that, but that's just my opinion. On week 4, we host the Houston Texans. Week 5, we go back out to Kansas City. Week 6, we go out to Nashville to play the Titans. Week 7, we host the Miami Dolphins. I'm kind of partial to the old Miami Dolphins logo where the dolphin is jumping like this. This one, he's kind of bent over like this, for what that's worth. Week 9, we go down to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. I think I'm going to have to get Andy from the Jaguar podcast to come back over. He stopped over earlier this year to talk to us about the draft. The Jaguars wound up taking Trevor Lawrence over Justin Fields, who went to the Chicago Bears. Week 10, we go down to New York City to play the Jets. Week 11, we host the Indianapolis Colts. You know, for those who don't know, the Colts used to be in our division before they split off, before the NFL split off and created the AFC South and NFC South. Week 12, we go down to the Superdome to play the Saints. Week 13, we host the New England Patriots. Week 14, we go down to Tampa to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Ron Gronkowski, those guys, Bruce Arians. Week 15, we host the Carolina Panthers. Week 16, we go out to Foxborough to play Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. That was controversial, that the fact that the Patriots cut Cam Newton, but apparently he didn't get his jab, and he used a non-NFL facility to get tested for the contagion. Notice I'm speaking in code here. Week 17, we host the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons, and then week 18, we host the New York Jets. Okay, so that's a look at the schedule. And where will the Bills be when that week, in those final weeks? Will they be resting their starters, or will the Bills be battling for a playoff position, or will the Bills be getting ready for the 2022 draft? As the great Chris Berman says, that's why we play the games. Okay, so one Buffalo Bills skeptic who is a Twitter follower, I follow him too, who will remain anonymous. Of course, he's going to get a kick out of this when he sees this, because I'm going to send him the link in his DMs. He's going to get a kick out of this. This is going to infuriate some Buffalo Bills fans. But again, on my channels, we look at things from a holistic perspective, and I think this is worth capturing. So I'm going to read this off my smartphone. I'm not going to do the screen share so you guys can see who this is from. But this was a very, when I read this a couple of months ago, this was a very, very stark and sharp rebuke of the Bills organization, Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and so on, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, again, I've grown up listening to Buffalo Bills skeptics. One of my mother's former suitors, who still remains a father figure for me today, he was always critical of the Bills, even when Jim Kelly and Marv Levy and those guys got competitive and got to the Super Bowl. He was always critical of the Bills. So I grew up hearing these types of criticisms, and I think some of them are kind of funny. Bills Mafia members are not going to think this is funny. So let me stop the screen share, and I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to conclude. Okay. So this reads as follows. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here, because when you're reading things, your mouth and your lips dry up. All right. So reasons why I don't believe in the McDermott-Allett regime is simple, or are. Josh Allen isn't a good NFL quarterback. His parents cried his way into the college level quarterback position. No one wanted him at the NFL level, and that's from the professional analysts. McDermott should have picked the kid from KC, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes, who, by the way, won a Super Bowl within his first few seasons as a starting NFL quarterback. Allen can't hit the side of a barn door 5 yards away on the move. And don't be fooled by last season's numbers. I'll tell you why. Yes, he can set all the Bills' single season records by a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you what happened the last 3 games of the playoff run and the AFC Championship game. Allen folded under pressure. I'm not talking about pressure from defensive linemen. I'm talking about playing in a stadium full of people. If you look back at the season, no one was in the stands. When the playoffs came, his numbers and stats dropped dramatically. Or maybe that should be dramatically. The kid can't play in a crowded atmosphere. Think I'm just spewing lies? Go look for yourself last season and then postseason, and you'll see exactly what I mean. That's why I don't believe in McDermott and Allen. That's why I don't believe in the McDermott and Allen regime. McDermott makes stupid coaching decisions, and Allen is an even worse quarterback. He's worse than J.P. Lossman, also known as Flopman. Let me not get started on the racist-ish Allen did back in the day either. F. Allen, he's trash. Okay. So those are some cautionary words to the Bills Mafia. Though I would say Allen is a young quarterback. I don't know how much validity there is to, well, certainly when you're in a stadium full of fans, they're shouting at you and making it loud when you're at the line of scrimmage and making it hard for you to call audibles and those kinds of things. Certainly that's different than playing in an empty stadium. So I wouldn't disagree with that. I would say that Allen is a young quarterback still. It had been a while since the Buffalo Bills had made the AFC Championship game. They were up against a superior opponent, a more experienced opponent, an opponent that had won the Super Bowl the previous year. Andy Reid is a much more experienced coach than Sean McDermott. And the Bills, their roster last year, while it got them unprecedented success and more success than the team had seen in a while, there were holes in that team. For example, the Josh Allen's key target was Stephon Diggs. And if you're going to go that deep in the playoffs and you want to get to the Super Bowl, you definitely need other options besides your number one option. So the Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders. So what I'll be looking for this season is to see if Josh Allen can go through his reads and start to pick defenses apart using his multiple targets. Because if you just have the one target, defensive coordinators are going to load up on that side and make it hard for you to pass to that one guy. Also, in that AFC Championship game, we didn't see much of a running game from the Bills. So I think that to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to need more production on the ground just to keep defenses honest. So I'm saying that to say, while that critic may have raised a couple of points, some of them are kind of when I saw Josh Allen a couple weeks ago, or it was last week actually, against Green Bay, the kid's got a strong arm. He's mobile. And I thought I saw him make some plays on the run. So the jury's out. We'll have to see. Nah, he ain't worse than Lossman. That's crazy talk. Yeah. It was some parts of it, Wayman, were a bit of an exaggeration and a bit biased. But I think if the team stays healthy, if Josh Allen stays healthy, I think they'll be right back there where they were. That's just my opinion. But the question is, will they be able to get back to where they were and even get to the Super Bowl? So let's see. Let's see what happens. She says he was tough on the Bills. Yeah. Many of the hometown critics are tough on the franchise, and they say some pretty outrageous things. But I just wanted to. I thought as a YouTube content creator, I thought that it was worth capturing. BGS just shared this, and I'm going to shut this down pretty soon. BGS, if you're out there, I appreciate you sharing this. But I'm going to shut this one down soon. If you guys have any other comments about that message that I just read or anything else about the upcoming season, I'll go for a few more minutes. Let's see. I'm at 32 minutes now. I'll probably hang out for another 8 to 10 minutes, and then I'll shut this down because Michigan is kicking off in about 50 minutes. So, but it was exciting last year to see the Bills make that deep run in the playoffs. We hadn't seen that in Buffalo. The Bills had not been to the AFC Championship game since the Jim Kelly years. And we're talking about the early 1990s. The Buffalo Bills, going back to my book project, and I do point this out in my book project. I'm going to show this again. Shameless plug. But if you're in business, part of business is marketing. And I do note in my story, I see some new people coming in. Everyone, I've talked about my book project on my YouTube channels. This is it. I will probably leave the link in the description box. And if you're subbed to my original channel, I just left the link to this over in the community tab. But a part of this story for me was learning about competition and learning how to compete. And so in this story, as I go through my high school basketball journey, I do note that the Buffalo Bills, I do chronicle the Buffalo Bills 4 Super Bowl trips, because I learned a lot about competition in hindsight through watching the Buffalo Bills go become competitive and go back to the Super Bowl each of those 4 years. They had a certain chemistry. They had a certain core group of players throughout each of those 4 Super Bowl trips. And also the Buffalo Bills, like every sports team, especially in college and the pros, the Buffalo Bills had a window. They had an unusually large window to get one Super Bowl win. Unfortunately, we know they didn't get one, but every team has a window. And the Buffalo Bills had a window to win the Super Bowl and take home the Vince Lombardi Trophy, probably from 1989 out to 1994. So there were 5 years where the Buffalo Bills could have won. But those were the last, until now, those were the last consecutive competitive years that the Buffalo Bills had. For the next 25, from 1995 until maybe 2015, everything was a flash in the pan. There were flashes of something, but there was just so much turnover and so much instability in the franchise. So I'm going to take this down. I appreciate those of you who came through to look at this. Kareen, now I know that you are a Steelers fan. Yeah, it's interesting. In those 25 years, we saw the Denver Broncos win. We saw the Steelers come back and win a couple. We saw, and this is just from the AFC, we saw the Patriots ascend to dominance. We saw a lot of things. We saw the St. Louis Rams win one. We saw the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl. We saw the The New York Giants win 2. So we had our little run in the 90s, and then we saw all these other teams in the NFL step up and win. The Dallas Cowboys went on and won one more. They won 2 over us. Who else? We saw Seattle win the Super Bowl. These are just teams that I'm thinking about off of the top of my head. I'm trying to think who I won it when I was in graduate school. The Patriots went on several runs. I think those were all the teams that won during that time. Tampa Bay, prior to last season, Tampa Bay won 1. The Baltimore Ravens won 2. So in our drought, we've seen a lot of teams win the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Corrine says the Steelers will be the next Super Bowl champion. I'm claiming it. Okay. She says the Giants in the NFC. And she says, I love them beating the cheating Patriots, though. That, you know what? I'm going to end on this. You know what, Kareem? And I got to see Tom Brady play live my first year in graduate school, and I was rooting for the Patriots to win that game against the Giants. I was rooting for the Patriots to go undefeated, but there was a fatal flaw in that Patriots team, which was that they couldn't run the ball, and they were, for the most part, a passing team. And I think that came back to bite them that season in that Super Bowl against the New York Giants, because the New York Giants had that NASCAR pass rush with Strahan and Justin Tuck, and I think Jason Pierre-Paul was in that first group as well, but they had that pass rush, and the Patriots were effective with the passing game with Tom Brady and Randy Moss, but they were tailor-made for that New York Giant defense. And of course, Eli Manning made some clutch and miracle plays and throws in that game. The most notable, the helmet catch by David Tyree on Rodney Harrison, which all of us were wondering, how the hell did he make that catch? And then that set up the Plaxico Burress game-winning touchdown catch. So, yeah, I was rooting for the Patriots. I wanted to see them go undefeated. I wanted to see them have the perfect season and knock off the 1972 Miami Dolphins. But it is hard in any sport to go undefeated and to stay undefeated. Hey, if you guys are just coming in, please hit that like. I'm going to shut this down shortly because Michigan is kicking off in 47 minutes. And I have to go throw these clothes in the dryer. So I'm a regular person just like everybody else. I have to do laundry, I have to wash dishes, I have to clean, all those things. So that's what I wanted to say, guys. Hey, yeah, look for more. Again, this is a Michigan football, Ohio State, Big Ten football hub. But I want to kind of start to weave in some Buffalo Bills. I want to weave in more Buffalo Bills content. So look for a couple of live streams over the next 3 to 4 months on the red, white, and blue and how they're doing, in addition to the Michigan football content. And once the NBA starts, I know that I have a lot of basketball fans over on my original channel in the subscriber base, but I think a key might be bringing BGS back to periodically to make that pop over here. So, and there's a lot to talk about there, especially with the Lakers and their revamped roster. So guys, I'm going to stop this here. Thank you to everyone who listened. This was intended to be a short stream. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Please like, share, and subscribe. Go Bills. Go Blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.